If it's Sunday, it must be Sunday dinner with Chef Joe. Hey everybody, and welcome to the Sunday before Christmas. Oh, this is great. I don't know what's happening at your house, but we're getting ready for all the holidays. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of inside this year, but that's okay because it's still going to be fun. We're going to have a great time, and today you get to see some of the food that we usually make on Christmas. And it works out perfectly because my son is going to be out of town for Christmas this year. So we're celebrating Christmas with him and his girlfriend, and we're having Christmas dinner tonight, and we're going to have Christmas dinner on Christmas Day. So, I mean, come on. I didn't get this girlish figure for nothing. Come on, you know. So, all right. Let's start talking. So today we're gonna make beef Wellington, and it's absolutely delicious. And then we need some sides. So we're going to have a creamed spinach, and we're also going to do a really cool idea. It's a twist on twice baked potato and Delmonico potato. So it's going to be fun, and this is going to be great. So let's get going. All right, hang on one second. I just want to make sure we're okay with that. All right. So this is a half of a beef tenderloin. So I'm sure you guessed where, and we'll show you the other half at the end of the show. But this is a half of a beef tenderloin, and what I've done is I've trimmed it somewhat. I've gotten a lot of most of the fat off of it. As you know, my theory is that I like to leave a little fat on because a little bit of fat is flavor. But I did get a lot of the silver skin, as they call it, off of it. When you do trim a beef tenderloin, there is what they call a chain that runs along the side of it, and as you're trimming, you'll realize that it just starts pulling off like a big chain. I always save that, and the next day I always make, like, you know, steaks subs with them or something like that. So don't throw it out. It's great. All right. So now we've got our nice beef tenderloin here, and we're going to we want to season it. So we're going to start off with, we always want to obviously start off with a little salt and pepper, because you know me, I'm always about salt and pepper. And let's get the pepper on. Okay. Then we're going to add a little olive oil, because again, we don't have a lot of fat on our beef tenderloin, nor do we want to. So we need a little bit to sear it with. So let's pick this baby up. So what we're going to do is we're going to sear it in this really nice hot pan. All right. And then while that's searing on one side, we're going to add our salt and peppers for the other side. Okay, and our pepper. All right, so what we want to do is we'd like to try to sear it at least on the front, top, and the bottom. If you could sear it all the way around and you got the time to do that, that's fantastic. All right, so while we're doing that, we're going to start our duxelle. So a duxelle is a mushroom-based stuffing. It's kind of a stuffing. It's a French stuffing, and to make a duxelle you need at least 4 key ingredients. All right, so you have to have mushrooms. So here I have a mixture of cremini mushrooms. I have some oyster mushrooms in here. I have I don't know, a couple other mushrooms in there. So I have a mixture of nice mushrooms. You need parsley. And I've got 1/3 of a cup of parsley here. You need onion, and I have a half an onion here. And you have shallots. After that, so you need those 4 things to make a duxelle. After that, you can add things, and we're going to add some stuff to it, and I'm going to show you how we do that. So I'm heating up this pan here, and we want to start off with a little butter because, I mean, let's face it, you're making this really delicious dish, so you want to be able to have some, you want to make this as rich as you can. So we're going to let that melt out for a minute. And then we're going to start throwing in, as soon as we melt out our butter, now we're going to start throwing in, we'll throw in our onions and our shallots. Alright, so this is a half a shallot that I just threw in. Now, I'm doing halves on everything because remember, the other half I told you of that roast is what our end product I'm going to show you at the end. All right. So we're going to let that. We're going to start sautéing this. Put this up. Let's turn this up a little bit. Meanwhile, let's see what's going on with our beef. Oh, we got a nice sear going on that side. So we're going to flip it over. Okay. And then after that, we're going to throw in our mushrooms. So this is about a half a pound of mushrooms that I'm putting in. Of all different mushrooms. You can do any kind of mushrooms you like. All right. So we're going to let that go for a minute. And I want to get some good sear going on it. So like I said, if we just stopped here with the butter and the shallots and the onion and the mushrooms, and when we're going to add the parsley in a few minutes, if we just stop there, that's considered a duck salad. But let's face it, do I do anything just the basics? Of course not. So we're going to start jazzing this puppy up a little bit, because when you see what I'm doing with it, you're going to be like blown away. All right, so we've got our saute going. So now I'm going to deglaze the pan with a little red wine. That's probably about a quarter of maybe a third of a cup of red wine in there. Again, I had some red wine sitting out. We're going to have some new stuff for dinner. All right, in the meantime, while we're letting this come to it, it should be my favorite and your favorite part of this show. What's Joe drinking? Joe is drinking a really great holiday drink that my daughter made me. This is so festive. This is a, what are we calling this now? A fig and cider martini? I guess, fig and cider. Fig, so it's fig vodka and with apple cider. And it has like a little sugar rim. And I'm actually tasting this for the first time, you guys. So, so you saw, I liked it. My first reaction was, oh, that's good. So, anyway, that's really good. All right, and very festive. Okay, so we gotta add two more ingredients to this, or actually, we're gonna add some more ingredients. So now I want to add some fresh herbs. So I've got here about a teaspoon of fresh thyme and about a tablespoon of fresh chopped rosemary that I'm throwing in. And remember I told you that we got to throw in our parsley, so this is a third of a cup of parsley, chopped parsley. And right here is about maybe about a quarter of a cup, maybe 2 tablespoons, probably 2 tablespoons of heavy cream. All right. So, now, all we're going to do now with this is we're going to reduce it down. And once it reduces down, I'll show you what we're going to do next. Meanwhile, our big, beautiful roast is ready to go. All right, so we've gotten that out. And next what we're going to do is we're going to wrap this rascal, or we're going to get ready to wrap this rascal. So I have here, this is called pastry sheets. So it's pastry dough sheets. So what we've done is you can buy them in the freezer section of the grocery store. And what we're going to do is we're going to wrap it. We're going to put our stuff on it, and we're going to wrap it all up, and then we're going to bake this in the oven. So this is one. We have 2 pastry sheets that come in a box, and we're going to use both of them. So while we're doing that, let's just finish this up, and I'm going to show you what we're going to do next. I just want to get this a little bit more reduced for a second because we're gonna wrap that up. Now, we could stop there with the duxelle and make it a beautiful beef Wellington, but I like to step it up even further. So a classic French way of doing it is to add foie gras. Now, I couldn't get any real good foie gras today, but I was able to at least get some foie gras pâté. So we will add some foie gras pâté to our beef Wellington. All right. So we're taking this off now, and we're going to come over to our food processor. Can you reach in there with the camera, Jay? Can you see it? All right. Okay. So we got that. Let's put this over here for a minute. I'm going to reuse this pan for our next dish. All right. And then we're going to process this in our food processor. If you don't have a food processor, a blender works just great. I'm just pulsing it until it's become more of like a pasty stuffing-ish thing. All right. That should do it. Okay. So we're gonna, that's what it looks like when it's done. And we're gonna let that sit for a minute. We're gonna start to work on our Chateaubriand or beef Wellington or whatever you like to call it. So we're gonna start off by, so this is gonna be the top of our beef Wellington. So we're gonna start off by we're going to add some of our stuff to it first. So we're gonna put some stuff across the top of it. And where am I? All right. So what we want to do, because we're going to be putting our beef on top of it, is we're going to put our duxelle, because what we want to do is you want the duxelle to be on the top layer of your beef. So we're going to put our duxelle just like that across the top. All right. Beautiful. And then we're going to take some of our foie gras pâté. I'm going to put that on there. Beautiful. All right. Now we're going to take our beef and we're going to, as we said, this is our top. We're going to put that straight down and then we're going to wrap. All right, we're going to wrap up our first part of our dough. It's not phyllo dough, this is pastry dough. There's a huge difference. You know, phyllo dough has all those layers, and pastry dough is more like a, you know, like a light breading type of, like a light fluffy bread, I guess is the best way to describe it. All right. So what I'm going to do now is, I did this before and it worked out great, is, so I'm cutting it into thirds real quick. And it's okay if you make a mess with it because this is actually the bottom of our roast. So no one's actually going to even see this. But what I want to do now is you want to start pasting it all together. So again, this is the bottom of our roast, so we're going to be flipping all this, and we'll flip it over and look at it in a minute. But you want to start gluing together the pastry dough. Like I said, doesn't matter what it looks like. Okay, like that. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to flip it over, and then we're going to fix what's ailing us over here. Okay, And don't worry if it seems like it's a little dry or anything, because we're about to glue the whole thing together with a little egg wash. Okay. Takes a minute. It's like, you know, I was never good at wrapping diapers either, so. All right, here we go. Now we need to do an egg wash. So we're going to put, this is just one beaten egg and some water. That's all I did. And we're gonna, at least for the part that we want to, you want to do as much as you can of it, but you definitely want to, you know, put your egg wash on the top, because you want the nice, you know, you want the nice crust on the top of your beef Wellington. All right, I think we got it, right? Yeah, no, this one piece really is a toughie. That's okay. You know what? I don't even need you, so we're just going to cut you right off. All right. So we're going to put that right on our baking sheet, and we're going to put this in an oven at, we're going to put this in the oven at 350 degrees for about, well, it really comes down to what temperature you're looking for. So it depends on the pounds and what you're looking for. So you could be doing, by the way, you're not supposed to be seeing this, but you're seeing it anyways, but we'll come back to that. All right, let's work on that next. The part you weren't supposed to be seeing. All right, so that's going to go in there for at least 30 minutes, and for at least 30 minutes at 350 degrees. And again, you're looking for whatever internal temperature you like. You know, if you're looking for like medium, then you probably want to pull it at like maybe like 135 and let it go up to 140. And then you can go from there. All right, now we're going to work on our potatoes. So let's move these out of the way. Let's flip this board right upside down, and here we go again. So our potatoes, real quick. So we're going to take our potatoes, and what I'm doing is, you just want to, these potatoes I baked in a hot oven, 400 degree oven for about an hour. And then I've been letting them cool while we were waiting for the show. And then we're just pulling out the potato itself out of the shell. And we're keeping the shell just like you would a twice baked potato. Alright? Just like that. Okay, we gotta do two more. Okay. So again, you want to try to keep the shell as intact as you can. You know, I know listen, things happen, it falls apart, but it's okay because we'll glue it all back together. All right, turn this off. All right, getting our potatoes in there. Okay, got one more. And it's okay if you get your fingers in there too, because we're cooking these again. So it's you know, you're gonna kill whatever is on your hands. So don't worry about that, because we're rebaking these all over again. All right, great. All right, so we got our potato in there. Okay, now we're going to make our filling for it. So we're gonna start off. We're going to start off by making a roux. Just wash my hands again, get the potato off my hands. So, take a sip of this delicious drink. Mm. Okay, so we got that. So now we need our ingredients for our. All right, so we're going to start off by making a roux. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with about a tablespoon of butter in our pan. And we're going to let that melt out for a few minutes. And then what we're going to do from there is, to make a roux, and we've talked about this before, is you need 2 ingredients to make a roux. You need butter, or some kind of other fat, and you need flour. And if you don't want to make a flour roux, you can also substitute it for cornstarch. So we're starting off, we've got our butter. We're going to let that melt out for a minute. Got our potatoes here. So what we're going to do is when this comes together, we're going to dump our flour in here. And I'm just going to dump it in now while it's melting. And then once it melts out, we're going to just stir it up and that becomes the roux. And then we'll add our other ingredients to it. And then, let's see, we're going to have Parmesan cheese. I've got some Gruyere cheese. I got mozzarella cheese. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so we got 3 cheese. Oh wait, there's something missing. Sour cream. I need sour cream. I only need like just a tablespoon of sour cream. Do you got any? Hey Jake, can you grab me that sour cream? Just a little bit, Jake. I only need Jake, I told you I only needed a little bit of sour cream. I just need a tablespoon, Jake. Oh my gosh. Holy cow. You'd think their dad was a chef or something and trying to impress people with this gigantic 5 pounds of sour cream. All right. So, and we're using 1 tablespoon of sour cream in our recipe. Okay, so we've got our roux going here. So our butter is melting, and so we're mixing the butter and the flour together. All right. And as you can see, it creates like a, this is kind of a thicker roux, but it creates a little paste. And then we're going to do is we're going to take about a cup, about 3/4 of a cup of heavy cream to our roux, and we're going to start adding that slowly into our roux. And the roux will melt itself back out again, and we'll thicken up. All right, just like that. Can you tell that we're having a really festive dinner tonight with all the low-fat ingredients going into our recipe today? All right. So we need this to come to a boil for it to become our sauce. So we're creating a quick white sauce with this. And then we can always add a little salt, and you can add a little pepper. If you don't want specks in your white sauce, you can always add white pepper. But as a chef, one of my chef instructors once said to me is, "Do you really think that's pepper?" He used to think it was wood shavings. I don't know. All right. So we got our sauce. As you can see, we made a quick white sauce. By the way, if you ever want to do biscuits and gravy, this is a quick white sauce for you. All right. We're going to dump that look at that. We're dumping that right into our potatoes. This is how you get the Delmonico part of our potatoes, by putting in this white sauce. And then the cheeses that go with it. All right. So we're dumping that in. Then we're going to add this is our Gruyere cheese. I'm going to add some of our mozzarella cheese. I'm going to add our Parmesan cheese. And don't forget about that little tablespoon of sour cream. All right. Beautiful. Okay, now we need to mix the whole thing up. Okay. I'm going to need a pan to put them in. Let's see. All right. So you want this really nice and gooey. I don't know if you can see it, but it's really gooey. Yeah, that's what we're looking for. Now we're going to take that and we're literally putting that right back into our potato shells. All right, so if you were making traditional Delmonico potatoes, you would be literally making like a casserole, because that's really what it is. And we came up with this because my wife said that there was a restaurant at the Cape, what is it, Riverway?
The Riverway.
The Riverway, and that they do a Delmonico potato very similar to this in the shell. And I said, we got to do that. That's just freaking great. So we're doing that. All right, so we got that. One more. Put that in here. And believe it or not, it all fits back in here, even though we added all those other ingredients to it. And again, remember, this is really gooey, so we'll be able to put this all back together if the shell, the potato shell is a little broken. All right, now we need something up here to put him on. Oh! All right. So, yeah, did you like that? That was a nice shot, right? All right. Okay, we got our potatoes, and we're going to put those right into our oven. All right, just like that. And we're going to cook those for about 30 minutes at 350. And these are what they look like when they come out. As you can see, I let these really go for, I really wanted to make these really beautiful and brown. And then I did, oh, you're right, I forgot. We got to sprinkle, we're missing an ingredient here. Hang on, folks. We are missing our topping on this. We have panko panko breadcrumbs that we're sprinkling on top. Just like that. Okay. Now, this is our end result. And then what you can do, if you want, is you can sprinkle, let's put those on a plate. I had a plate for those. Here we go. So we've got our potatoes that we can put on our plate. All right. And we've got that right there. Okay, and you can always sprinkle a little more cheese on that. Now, we got one more thing to make. One more thing. And that is our cream spinach. Yeah, baby, we're talking cream spinach. All right, we gotta go fast. We're running late on this show today. Here we go. So, I've done this a little, again, you know me, I do spin-offs on different things. So, this is not a traditional spinach. This is a combination of spinach and kale. And what I did is I chopped it, and then before the show, I blanched it. So what I did is I took this whole thing and I dipped it in boiling water for about a minute and just kept stirring it until it wilted like this. And then I've been squeezing it and getting all the water out. And actually, the fact that I only have that much water left is a great thing. So I'm going to show you how to make it. So we're going to start off again with some butter because, let's face it, it's the holidays and nobody uses enough butter at the holidays. So we're going to add some more butter. All right, so we're going to start off with some butter. Let's get this puppy going. All right, so once that gets going, we're going to add, of course, you can't have cream spinach without garlic. So we're going to add about this is about 2 cloves of garlic. So we're going to add that to our recipe. And we're going to, let's get that going. Get it on high. All right. Just want to heat this up and get it really moving for you so you can see it. Okay. So we're going to get that going, and then we're going to throw in our spinach. And you want to try to get it as dry as you can. So, like I said, I squeezed as much of the water out as I could, and then I left it in this colander the whole time, as you can see with a paper plate, to get the liquid, whatever liquid was still in it out. All right, so this is, as you can see, it looks nice and chopped. I like it chopped. You don't have to chop it. I think it just makes it better for a better cream spinach. Okay. And then we're going to add, believe it or not, a little flour to it, and again, maybe like just a couple of pinches, and this is to help as a thickener for our spinach. Not that it really is going to need it. And then we're going to add. That's about that was about a half a cup of heavy cream. I used a lot of heavy cream today. And then we've got about a half a cup of, this is grated Parmesan cheese. All right? And then you literally are just going to start mixing this baby up until it's ready, as you can see. And we're going to add our little salt and pepper to it. You always want to make sure you season it correctly. Okay. And always add a little more cream if you like it a little more creamier. I think that the kale will give it a little bit more crunchiness to it than you're normally used to. If you decide you want to do it with kale and spinach, which is what we did. But anyways, when it's done, as you can see, that was pretty quick, right? When it's done, and then I'm gonna add actually a little. You know what? We got this sour cream here. Let's add some sour cream to this. Come on, that's what's gonna make it really good. Because that will even add a more richness to it and more creaminess to it. I knew that big 5-pound container of sour cream was coming in handy. All right. So that's really it on that. And then we're gonna do is we gotta plate it. So we're gonna plate it with in our plating. All right. Oh, look at that. That looks delish. Smells absolutely fabulous. All right. So we've got our creamed spinach. And we've got our potatoes. And then last but not least, we have our beef Wellington. And so let's cut into it and let's see what it looks like. Oh, look at that, you guys. Oh, look at the juices just pouring out of that baby. Look at that. That's what I'm talking about. That, yeah, we got juices going everywhere. All right, so, anyways, so I want to let everybody know that we are now going to take a little break for the next few weeks. And that we'll be back in January, and I'll let you know exactly what Sunday we're back. But we're definitely going to take off for the holidays, and I'm sure you guys are all doing fun things with your family for the holidays. So until then, I know that I'm going to be definitely celebrating on New Year's Eve, the end of 2020. I'm sure you all are too. So until then, to all those who celebrate, Merry Christmas. Happy Kwanzaa, Happy New Year, and make sure you stay happy, stay healthy, and stay safe. And until I see you again, see you next year on Sunday Dinner with Chef Joe.